Welcome to Nerd Wars, and you guessed it, I have been earning my channel name these last couple weeks.
Mahito.
Just saw The Boy and the Heron from Studio Ghibli. Tell me in the comments how you pronounce it. And the week before that, I saw Kajira -1 twice. -2. Possibly, now that they extended it, maybe -3. And as I was leaving the theater today, I heard this really, really loud movie, and I looked in, it was this Bollywood movie. I think I might see that next week. But today we're talking about The Boy and the Heron, which I have now seen subtitled and in dub. Just even being willing to see it in dub, feel free to gatekeep me down in the comments section. I know I'm a horrible human being. General audience rating. Anime's gotten more and more popular, but general audience rating, still gotta take it a little bit down from my rating, go with like a 6.5 to a 7.
So is that the truth or a lie?
A lie.
Depending on how much you think they would like a magical anime movie. Personal rating though, 7.5, 8. And for my rating system, I consider a 9 to be like a personal favorite. And then from there, I've got 9, 9.5, 10. 10 being like absolute perfection, changed my life. So 7.5 and 8 sounds like a C-, D+, but for me, I mean a 7.5, 8. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Is it a Howl's Moving Castle, a Spirited Away? Sadly, no. So that hole inside of me has been slightly filled. That Studio Ghibli bonus hole. For example, for me, Howl's Moving Castle, I give a 10. And then like Princess Mononoke, I'd probably say 9.5. And then Spirited Away, Ponyo, Castle in the Sky, Nausicaa, put it solid 9s. And this, 7.5 or 8. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the story, but like no spoilers, just most basic stuff like you've already seen if you've seen the trailer. Story starts, air raid sirens. Just like in Gojira -3, we start with that World War II Japan. Things start off a bit too slow, but nice and mysterious, and the slow works with the mysterious, but it's a bit too slow considering the middle and the end we don't quite get as much as we would, or I would prefer to get. So the mystery is a little too slow developing, but quite mysterious, definitely hooks you. Then things get fun and a bit trippy. Scenes went on a bit too long at some places, some scenes that were pretty unnecessary. Very pretty to look at, of course, but could have tightened it up. That way we could have gotten a little more lore. Or a bit more like action. Starts with the classic, mom dies. Now the main character is having weird dreams about her trope. The animation style they use for the beginning and then the dream sequences, it's like some Grave of the Fireflies meets Howl's Moving Castle. Honestly, wish they would have used that style here and there a bit more. And as I said, the mystery with the Heron in the tower it's a fun build-up, but we're there for the magical world. I saw it the second time when I saw dub the second time. I saw sub the first time. Say you're sorry down in the comments. About 40 minutes before you get into like the hallway, before they cross the threshold. 40 minutes. That doesn't have to be like the Spirited Away 10 minutes, but let's get that down to like 20. And then spend that extra 10 minutes in the world and then the extra 10 minutes at the end where we actually get some answers. Characters. We got the main character, Mahiko. They call him a bunch of things. Mojito. A little mint julep in there. Very, very confident. He looks like he should be like 7 or 8. Very, very competent child and a badass. Just like making weapons and stuff, ready to like go to war against the weird gray heron. And there's a lot that should be likable and whatnot, but he's not really all that likable. He doesn't like suck or anything, but for all the great Studio Ghibli movies, you're really connected to the characters. You care. And by having that connection, it sucks you even more into that magical world. The Gray Heron. The trailer pretty much shows you maybe not necessarily a good guy. Maybe possibly tricking a child into a magical world for who knows what. So, I mean, he's meant to be unlikable, but he's an interesting character. I didn't super like him in the sub, but he got a bit more character when I could, actually understand what he was saying.
I thought we have to be alive too.
Unforgive me in the comments. The dad should suck. He's like moved on from the dead mom. He's really busy running the factory, but he's actually really awesome. He actually cares like too much. Normally like it would be he's too aloof and the kid's not getting any attention. This dude's like ready to get vengeance for his son. He's like whipping out samurai swords and such. Like 7 or 8 old grannies who were there at the place. Possibly the best characters, really could have used more of them. Crazy shapes, bulging faces, weirdest possible noses. Gray Heron, though, still wins for weirdest nose, for sure. Then we get into the magical world and we get to meet Kiriko, the fisherwoman. First, I was like, oh no, strong women. But It actually ends up being pretty awesome. And then we get introduced to the Wada Wada, the cutest darn little guys since the forest spirits and the suit sprites. And I'm going to say it, feel free to ready that comment down there. The Wara Wara are cuter than the forest spirits and suit sprites. I said it. I know you're probably writing down there, whatever. Change my mind. And we got Himi, the fire magic girl. Very interesting. Sure wish we could have learned more about her. Maybe should have taken 20 minutes off of the intro. Man-eating parakeets. Honestly, the grannies fighting the man-eating parakeets would have been the best possible moment. So originally I accidentally put her at the end. The stepmom, which is also the aunt. It's not quite as clear in the subtitles, but in dub, you kind of get some weird Jerry Springer stuff going on. And Natsuko is like the big driving force. It starts off being the mom, but then we got to save Natsuko. And she wasn't super interesting. And at the very end, it was like, oh, but then we didn't get any answers. Tower Master, pretty freaking awesome. More, way more, like all of him more. Why not more? Why we not do more? I don't need to see him slip on his shoes. I don't need to see him slip back into his room. Just cut those parts out. More Tower Master. You probably don't know what the Tower Master is, but you hear Tower Master and you're like, yeah, we should probably get more of that. Correct. The acting in the sub, I don't know. The main character's voice it sounded way too old for such a young character. Yeah, whereas in the dub, I actually preferred the dad's Japanese voice. His English voice just didn't really seem to fit. And the acting was pretty decent. Nothing that really stood out, like a Christian Bale Howl's Moving Castle. Length, 2 hours. Went by quite quickly. Directing. Let's just start this off by saying getting another Miyazaki movie. Like, it pains me to only give it a 7.5 to 8. Tighten it up a little bit at the beginning. Got a little bit of that in the middle and the end instead. I feel like we'd be having different discussions here. Probably 8.5, 9. Writing, like I said, a lot of unanswered questions. Characters with a very strong personality trait, such as the main character, or like incredible magical powers. It's just a thing. That's just how it is. And then like nothing's explained and you're just like, okay, it's a thing. Animation, it's Studio Ghibli. So you do. I said if they'd use that animation style with like the fire in the beginning and in the little nightmare dreams, a little bit more of that, could have been perfect. Perfect. Cinematography, yeah, beautiful shots, lots of environmental stuff, grass going with the wind while pretty clouds are in the background. Editing, everything made sense. Everything flowed together pretty well. Like I said, could have tightened it up. Music and sound effects. It's Ghibli, and yes, a million times yes is what I originally wrote. Piano and orchestra, music and sound effects, a bajillion times yes. Action, not a lot of fighting. Intense scenes and stuff like that, so it keeps you interested enough, gets your blood pumping a bit here and there, but not a lot of actual like action fighting. Something that I think probably could have helped a little bit. Especially with the main character, he definitely would have been ready. Humor, a few laughs, mostly it's like smiles and like giggles from it being like so darn cute or just like a bit silly. You know, when you got things like the water wateras floating around or man-eating parakeets like licking their lips ready to eat children. Drama. Well, you think without so much like action and humor, we'd have more drama. Not really though, and I think that's the problem. That's why I didn't have quite as much emotional attachment. And there's some involving his dead mom, plus like his new stepmom, but like honestly, for what ended up happening, there's maybe a little too much dead mom, not enough of the anti-stepmom. Jerry. I mean, by the end, I just kept wondering if the granny who got sucked into the magical world, if she was okay. Also, why are you not in it more? But she kind of technically was. No spoilers. Costumes, sets, style. It's Studio Ghibli. So do it. It's good. Escapism. Definitely provides some good escapism. I just wish I got sucked into a bit more through the writing and characters. Definitely needed more Kiriko. Like I said, they just needed to find something else to go do with her in the second act. Would have helped a lot. But I recommend it to my boomer parents now. Theater versus streaming. I mean, either if you haven't seen a Studio Ghibli in theater, I would recommend it. It's definitely an experience. So final score, 7.5, incredibly high bars out of 10, possibly 8. I think after watching the dub, I'm willing to give it 8 incredibly high bars out of 10. Really liked it, didn't quite love it. So do you plan on seeing it? Have you seen it already? Have you already told me I'm a fake anime fan like 7 times down the comments? You don't feel like commenting anymore? Well, it's just like one more. Dub's better than sub, I said it. Next week, I was going to take a week off because why would I want to see Wonka? Gross. But I think I'm going to go see a like 3.5 hour Bollywood movie. Action Bollywood movie. And then just in time for Christmas, I'll have a super fun Aquaman 2 roast. See you then? Or maybe possibly for some Bollywood. I mean, if I'm going to see a musical, honestly, I'd rather see that over Wonka. Get access to exclusive videos and become a producer at my Subscribe Star. Links in the description.